Hello everybody, welcome back to my Kingdom Come Deliverance walkthrough. We are on part 4 now. So we left off in Auschwitz. I'm always gonna pronounce these names wrong. But we left off here talking to the priest, and he has some news for us. But we can't talk to him until, I believe, evening at the tavern. So what I did was I went ahead and I got the horse we're supposed to pick up from here, and we're supposed to deliver it to Talmberg. And I'm going to head up this road and go and talk to the herb woman, and then, since that'll be on my way, and then after we talk to her, we'll head back to Talmberg, deliver the horse, and then we'll take my horse from here back to this town, and we'll talk to the priest. So that's our current goal. See what happens to us along the way. Alright, now we just need to get back on the road. I see the road we want to take. Hopefully it should be an interesting video. One thing I am finding this game is lacking so far for me is it seems to be lacking consistent action. You go from a lot of action to very little, to a lot, to very little. So hopefully it picks up the pace of that a little bit better. Alright, here we go. Some cows. Alright. Keep moving and grooving through the forest. Who is this? Is this a monk? Appears to be a monk. I would actually like to talk to him. That could be interesting. He doesn't want to talk to me.
What is it?
Wait, no, now you would? Okay. Remount you. Oh, moving. Let's go and peep the map. Actually, apparently we took the wrong road over there, so let's get back on this one. Alright, we should be good to go now. Other person just wandering about. Peep the map one more time. Alright, so yeah, we should be on top of this lady. Oh. I think she's right here. Ah yes, this super glitched out spot that did not load properly whatsoever. Video game. Alright, well that didn't load properly. So let's see, well let's just see if we can talk to her. I don't know what's going on with the game. Does seem to be very buggy. Alright. I've come from the priest.
I've come from the priest. They're saying you incited some women to witchcraft.
Me? Witchcraft? That's nothing but idle chatter.
Speak of you old hag, or I'll wring your neck. I mean you don't you know that witches get burned alive? Let's do this one.
You'd be wise to give me a straight answer. I mean you no harm.
As long as it's the truth you speak. Very well. I'll tell you everything. I've done a very foolish thing. It's preying on my mind so much I can't sleep a wink.
So I'm supposed to believe an old witch has pangs of conscience.
Laugh if you like, but it's not a word of a lie. You probably know I sell various magic lotions and potions alongside my herbs. Well, there's one I wish I hadn't sold. You see, Vera, Zlata, and Kuta from Uzhitz wanted a magic ointment from me. I kept refusing them, but in the end, I let them talk me into it.
Let's see. What ointment?
What kind of ointment was it?
One that will show you a world no one else can see. A place of wonder and terror. The flowers might start talking to you.
Some shrooms?
Or the earth could swallow you up. I don't know if it's the work of the devil or of God himself, but the ointment has that power. But it could poison any person who doesn't know how to use it right.
So all this talk of witches anointing themselves and then flying to their sabbaths on broomsticks.
The ointment could make a person see such things. But it was stupid of me letting those foolish women get their hands on it. They could poison themselves or fall off a cliff while they're lost in a dream.
Will you give me the recipe?
Will you give me the ointment recipe?
It contains belladonna and the herb Paris, both quite poisonous plants. That ought to make you think twice about dabbling with it.
Okay, so we know the ingredients now, which could be useful for future poisoning of bandits and other various enemies. So what do they want the ointment for? So why did you let them... let's see what they wanted it for.
What did they want the ointment for?
Each one of them lost a loved one recently, and it's grieving them. They wanted to talk with the dead.
Why'd you change your mind?
And why are you so worried about them all of a sudden? What changed your mind?
I'm losing sleep over it. Firstly, those women don't know what they're doing. And secondly, folk might see it as witchcraft. And do you know what they do to witches?
They burn them alive.
That they do. So don't be surprised I'm worried.
It didn't bother you before, though.
Why'd you let them have it?
So why did you give them the ointment at all?
Because I'm soft-hearted. You see, one of those women, Vera, lost her whole family in Skalitz. And Zlata's husband was killed. And the youngest of them, Kuta, miscarried with the horror of it all. They said they wanted to use the ointment to speak with the dead and ask them to put a word in with the Lord.
Yeah. I understand how they feel. But I reckon it'll get them nowhere but the ducking stool and the stake.
Judge not, lest ye be judged. I didn't want to give them the ointment, but they offered me a pile of groschen. So I thought how desperate they must be, and I heard their plea.
Their plea, or the clink of their coin?
Alright, I've heard enough.
I've heard enough.
If you've heard enough, you must understand why I need your help. Find out from those women what they intend, and watch over them to keep them safe.
If I don't help her, she'll get accused of witchcraft and die. But if I do help her, she'll like me. She could be a useful tool in the future for creating poisons and potions, which will be beneficial to my character. So I think I'll help her out.
Very well. But only because the priest himself asked me to.
Thank you 1,000-fold. I'll go to the Reverend myself and explain. You take care of those women.
Okay, so did that in her messed up looking house. So let's mount the horse again. And
Sorry, boy.
this wants me to go back here and look at all of them. Okay, so that will work. So let's head back to Talmberg and we'll drop off the horse and then we can ride back.
horses come roaming in the merry month of May, to graze in the shade of the apple tree there. First one is brown and second is grey. Which shall I ride to, my maiden so fair? Well, you still gonna throw me off?
It's a camp here. And they don't look very hostile. That's annoying. Texture's not loading in. Alright. Don't know who that guy is. Don't want to hit anybody. I have a reputation to uphold. Okay. Up there's the town we want. Hallenberg. And then once we drop this off, I will most likely just... Oh, why is this, the world did not load in properly. So I'm going to go ahead and save the game using one of my save your schnapps. And the trick, let's try reloading it. Obviously, this load in was not working as intended. I am interested in doing more quests for the Millers. Although I'm definitely going to be looking into any kind of more fighting quest lines, such as if there's like an arena or killing bandits or humans, anything like that. Spice up the action, because I really enjoy the combat in this game. There we go. We actually have a spawned in city now. Let's try not to hit Sir Robard. There we go. And there we go. Awesome. So we have done that, and awesome, we're not late for the priest. Okay. Check. Ooh. We have a level up in the reading department. Let's go ahead and spin a point. Info. All books are cheaper in shops. And when reading, you will get tired and hungry twice as slowly as normal. I'm going with the cheaper in shops because I noticed there are skill books in this game, and I would like those to be cheaper. And hungry and tired don't seem to be that big of a deal in this game. As long as you're paying decent attention to it, you'll be fine. Level 3, after committing a crime, you get a 1+. I'm just kind of looking at some of these. Anyway. Alrighty, let's go here. This should let us go to full screen. Alright, so we're going to head to Auschwitz. I hear them pronounce it in the game, and I still always mess it up. I'm really hoping for a bandit attack on the way, to be honest with you. Alright, I doubt we'll get a bandit attack now, though, because we'll be in the city, so... Alright, well, made it all the way through. Alright, so... Priest is still there. We're supposed to talk with him at night, I believe. or evening. Alright, we have the 3 women we have to go ask questions about, so we still have time to go do that, so let's go ahead and let's get on good old Pebbles. And go talk to the women. Dismount. Alright. Let's talk to her. I've heard about a magical ointment.
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
Really? I'd like to know where from. And what concern is it of yours, anyway?
Priest is worried I've been sent by the herb woman. Would the character play the religious card here? I'm leaning so, or to that option, mainly because he is trying to secure his power, right? That's the goal of my character ultimately, secure his power, and one of the best ways to do that, especially in this time period, is use the God card. So we're gonna go with that.
The priest is worried.
The priest? It's nice to find out what telltales you have for neighbors. But believe me, it's none of your business. Or the priest's.
You can burn the stake for what you're doing, or start talking or else. I think we're gonna apply. Let's try using persuasion.
That's
here.
enough. What I've heard already amounts to a burning offense.
That did not work out.
Oh, it's threats now, is it? I've never heard of anyone being put to the stake because of some ointment. If it's fire you want, go back to your damn forge and stop bothering me.
She didn't like me very much. Try talking to her again. Heard about a magical ointment.
I've heard something about a magical...
Really?
The priest is worried.
The priest
It's
is-
gonna be
The
the
priest?
same stuff here. Let's try using the strength option this time.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I'll find out by hook or by crook. So start talking.
That worked.
Only a herbal ointment, some chanting, and 3 women at night in the woods. No harm done to anyone. Maybe some help to some. So why don't you stop interfering?
Okay, so now I have the option of following them into the woods. So if I wanted to, like, stalk them, I guess.
What's going on? Hey!
Okay.
What have we here?
Hi.
What?
Alright, Pebbles.
Show yourself!
Need to go talk to the other women. We're still waiting on the priest anyway, might as well. Now, she didn't say when they go into the woods, but one would assume it's at night. Considering what they're doing. Come on, Mr. Horsey, you can do it. You can make it over the fence. This is, yeah, that's the one thing. When you're trying to use the horse to get around the towns, it doesn't work nearly as well as being on foot. So we'll just be on foot. Okay. Here she is. Woman number 2. Heard things about the magical...
I heard something about a magic ointment that you got from the herb woman.
You heard that where? And what business is it of yours?
The priest is worried.
The priest is concerned.
The priest can go to hell. All he cares about is filling his belly. And then that bastard talks down to us from the pulpit about temperance and humility. It's because of his sort, the lords and the humans here, that killed my husband and children. Where was the priest then, eh?
We're gonna keep trying the strength approach on these people, mainly just because I think they'll be
I
more
don't quite know
successful.
what's going on, but I'll find out one way or another. So I'd suggest you start talking.
Worked again.
Look, there's no need to make threats. There's nothing going on. Well, maybe a few spells and such, but nothing that could harm folk. We mean well, I swear. Our souls are our own concern. God has forsaken us, and we have to fend for ourselves.
Okay.
Look where you're going!
She didn't really tell me much. Flies. So let's go down here. We talked to the last woman. Now, how far is this last woman? Because I am not going to... Yeah, that's far enough to... Let's get on Pebbles. Oh, and Pebbles has stopped again. Pebbles has a very short tolerance for things. There you go. Come on, Pebbles, you can do it, bud. Alright, well, you know what? You got far enough, bud. You got far enough. I'll take you from here. With your, yeah. A few questions.
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
What? Who told you that? Was someone asking around?
Actually, I'm not interested. It might be interested in the priest.
It might interest the priest.
The priest? Who's been telling him stories? Does he know about us?
You could be burnt at the stake for what you're doing. You better start talking or else.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I'll find out one way or another, so start talking.
We want to put the ointment on at midnight. A little magic, just us and no one else. Come and see for yourself if you like. Just stay out of sight and don't say a word, whatever happens.
Look where you're going.
Okay, so she told us that it happens at midnight and we can go for ourselves. So that's what we're going to do at midnight. But first we need to go talk to the priest, which requires me to get back on Pebbles. Alright, and get him unglitched. And we'll head up to the priest, and we'll probably just end up waiting there. New level in horsemanship. Out of curiosity, is that a rank up in anything? It looks like it is. Horsemanship did get a rank up. So we have heavy duty pony, which your horse can carry more but is slower. And you have racehorse, which is it's faster but carries less. Well, I don't feel like my horse needs to be that much faster. I'd rather it carry more. Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't felt like I really need to have more stuff being carried around. At the same time, I don't feel like I need my horse to be faster. Because if I'm really traveling that long of a distance, usually fast travel's better than doing the horse. So I'm gonna go with the heavy duty for the more carry weight. Especially as we're going to be fighting harder and harder enemies, they're going to have better and better armor because this game, the enemies do get more difficult as you progress the storyline and all the missions because you naturally fight better enemies. And they get more difficult in the sense of they're better at blocking, they're better at sword fighting or using their axe or whatever weapon they're using. And because it's higher quality, they're going to deal more damage, but they don't have more health. They just have these, something I could pick. I like picking up flowers whenever I can. So we need to talk. We gotta wait for him till he goes to the tavern. So we'll sit right here. And actually, let's just talk to him to confirm the time. If I could, there he is.
God be with you.
Can I ask you a few questions about the
The
boss?
blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush. Can I ask you a few
I've already
questions?
been through
It
this.
seems Sir Hanush is employing children as in
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
a bit of a lost soul.
Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was
Did I
such
not go
a
over
bad
this? I thought I
person.
did this before. There's no blush. You know anything suspicious?
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubos don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What was he doing?
Do you know what Lubos was doing on the day Neuhoff was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
I'm pretty sure we went
There
over
are
this
laws of
in
God.
the other episode. Must be some exception.
Father, surely you can't be...
There are things that
And
apply.
he says he will help me out, so we're going to push him with speech.
But Lubos is dead.
That
If I
failed.
told you, if people believe,
Worse than the death of...
no one escaped.
Bosch was my only lead.
Father, Lubos... If I don't find...
I wouldn't. Suppose we talk it over in the evening.
All right.
So, meet the parish priest in the tavern in the evening. Okay. Where is he going? Oh, he's going to sit down. Okay. I didn't mean to call Pebbles over here, but let us wait 3 hours and see if he'll go to the tavern to talk it out. So hopefully we can find some sort of loophole and or get him drunk enough to reveal it. That would work too for me. Yeah, he has to be at the tavern. Alright, let's go. We can always get some sleep while we're at the tavern too, if needed. So, run through the middle here.
Damn!
Damn. There he is.
What is it?
Sit down with him. And we will talk.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Scowlitz. It doesn't matter where I'm from. It doesn't matter where I'm from.
It doesn't matter where I'm from.
Sorry to have asked then. I was simply curious.
Character's very to
And how
himself.
did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did send him. Do you think I am not? I would say he did send him. There's no need for
He did,
super
but I found a
questioning.
witness and the trail led here to Ujitz, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
This time they weren't exaggerated. It's something important. What happened there? This time they weren't
The
exaggerating.
rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhoff stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
I notice you're handy with a sword. Let's get straight to the point. I'll talk about the
I
sword.
noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
All right, let's get straight to the point then.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Is it? You're making excuses. Yeah. I'm pressuring.
You're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own comfort.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry. You've no idea how wrong you are.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
You want to preach against debauchery? What do you think of Hus, teaching of Master Hus? Folks saying about it, enough about preaching. What do you preach against debauchery?
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
Okay, what are folks saying about it? What do you think of Hus? What are folks saying about it?
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe?
Enough about preaching.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Not in the mood for boozing. I see that's a good plan. I'm gonna go with that's a good plan because if I can get him drunk enough, he might tell me.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
I've reached a new level in drinking.
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out. Oh.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Oh, God. Oh, this is fucking funny as shit. Alright, let's fight with the priest. Let's get it. This did not end the way I thought it was going to.
How do you know? You're dead.
Character's all fucking drunk and shit. Alright.
Take that. I'll slay you, you scoundrel.
He's almost down. Alright, he's down.
Bring it.
I can't see anything. Yeah, we got him. We are making quite a bit of friends.
Ring on the bell. No sooner said than done.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry.
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This
This is wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, bloody elf.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening. Damn. Jeez.
This is some crazy ass shit.
I feel quite hungry.
I know you feel hungry, Henry. Okay, let's eat. Here's some bread, bud. Shut up.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell.
Here comes the hangover.
What the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
Oh my god.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
That is what I wanted to know. We'll never get away with it. Alright, but I can't guarantee the results. Okay, let's see. Alright, but I can't guarantee the results.
Well, alright. I can't make any promises about what will happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do, exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubos.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
The sermon in church instead of Father Goodwin.
Be a bit more careful.
Alright, so out of curiosity, checking out her skills, drinking is over from level 0 to level 4 after that night. I'll have a look at those later, but I'm going to go ahead and call that an episode.
Hey!
So, thank you guys for watching. That was episode 4. And we will pick it up
look where you're
episode
going.
5. We'll probably be doing the sermon. It was not exactly how my character, or I wanted the character to go necessarily. I thought that was going to go a little bit differently, but that was pretty crazy. That being said, this could work out easily for him. 1, he gets the information he wanted, and 2, he'll have a friend in the church, and 3, he could start a revolution to put himself on top if he wanted to within the people potentially. So we'll see how this turns out. Yeah, anyway, thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys.